Hello and welcome to a belated second video in which I'm hoping to show you some post-processing, some of my post-processing in Lightroom. I did actually do one of these videos much earlier in the year, I think it was in January, and intended to do a whole bunch of these, maybe one every 2 weeks, but unfortunately that's obviously got away from me, and I'm hoping to get it back on track with a video this week. So today I'm going to focus on this shot, which I took in the Grand Palace of Amsterdam, one of my more popular shots from the year, and you can see it's got some quite striking contrast and quite a nice composition. I'm going to show how to process this photo, which was the original shot straight out of the camera, which is pretty bland, I think you'll agree, into this guy, which looks much better. So let's get started on the processing. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the crop that I'm interested in having. I think it's always good to get the composition how you want it to look in the final image, and it generally lends to more efficient processing further down the line. So if we take the crop tool first, I want to get rid of some of this unnecessary distraction at the top of the shot, and I'll probably do the same at the bottom. I want to keep the chandelier in the middle of the picture, and I'll bring it in either side as well, because really I want the focus of this image to be that bright shining light in the center. So we can get rid of this distraction at the side of the picture. Let's make sure that it's still in the middle. And I'm really liking these sort of wide shots at the moment. So we'll try to make it that sort of panoramic wide view. And you'll notice I rotated the image in the final picture. I think it was that way actually. So there we've got our crop, and adding that rotation just sort of makes it look a little bit more curious. It sort of makes you think sort of something doesn't quite look right in the photo, which I always think makes for something a little bit more interesting, something that captures people's imagination just a little bit more. Okay, so now we've got the crop that we're after, we can start looking at some of the processing tools to improve the look of the photo. So what I really wanted in this picture was to have this ring of light really standing out as much as possible from the background, and at the moment, because the background is sort of a creamy white colour, it's not really doing what I want it to do. So I'll generally, most times, if I'm not really sure exactly how I want the photo to look, I'll filter through some of these presets in Lightroom just to see if I can get any inspiration or any ideas from these. And as I go through these, the one that stands out most to me is this one, Cross Process 2, and that's because I really like the sort of blue effect that it has on the interior of the building. There's something about that which is quite striking, and it seems to provide a bit more contrast with the chandelier's light. So now that I've decided that's going to be my baseline for this shot, I'll start playing with some of the more common settings that you might be used to in Lightroom. And the first thing that I always do is play with some of the clarity. So you'll see the preset, this Cross Process 2 preset, has automatically set the clarity to 25. And I'm going to bump that up a bit. I don't normally go over 60. I normally hang around somewhere between 50 and 60 depending on the image, sometimes a little bit less. And that just helps to bring out some of the details and give the image that little bit more punch, make it look a bit sharper. So I'll leave that one around there. Now I still don't really have the contrast that I want between the chandelier and the background, and the way I'm going to improve that in this shot is I'm going to do two things. The first one is I'm going to reduce the shadows, which is just going to darken the background. And the second thing I'm going to do is in this tone curve panel here, I'm just going to adjust the point curve to medium contrast, which is the most common preset I use here. And that just really makes this circle stand out from the background, which I like a lot. And I think that's pretty much it. I think we're there with this shot. And as you can see, I mean, I didn't really do that much. I cropped, selected the preset from the left-hand side over here, this cross process 2, and then I boosted the clarity, reduced the shadows, and changed the contrast, and that was pretty much it. So if we go back to the original shot, let's just look at our history here on the left-hand side. We went from this shot at the beginning of the session, and we end up with this, which I think you'll all agree is a much more interesting picture to look at. I'm hoping to upload one of these videos to the blog maybe once every couple of weeks going forward. At least that's my intention anyway. Hopefully I'll manage to do it this time. I'll be taking some of my most popular images from my last, must be almost a year blogging now, and showing you the processing steps I took from the raw file out of the camera to the final published image. Thanks for watching.